What's going on, everyone? This is Awiz coming at you with a brand new video, and in today's video we will be continuing the support series right here with showcasing Kharazim number 7, I believe, on my list from 10 to 1. This entire series is basically just about where I have the 10 current support heroes in Heroes of the Storm ranked from 10 all the way through 1. One thing I want to actually stress is that this is just my own personal opinion. This is not anything that I would actually regard as a fact, and this is definitely not something that I would say that I'm putting together to tilt hardcore support mains on the Heroes of the Storm scene. This is purely just my opinion, nothing more, and this is pretty much just where I see the heroes at right now, as of this moment, where the game is currently at. This is where I see the 10 supports ranked from 10 through 1. Now, if you're just catching this video as the first video in the series, just to update you on where we've been, at number 10, I had Tassadar. At number 9, I believe I had Tyrande. And in the last video, at number 8, I had Rhaegar. So here we are sitting at number 7 with Kharazim, who for the longest time was actually my favorite support in the game. He still is one of my favorite supports in the game, but he's kind of fallen on hard times. I mentioned it. I mentioned this in the Rhaegar video, that if I had done this series at a different time, that Rhaegar would have been higher in the list. That also ends up being the case for Kharazim. So without further ado, let's get into the game. Alright, we currently find ourselves on the Tomb of the Spider Queen. The compositions I'm pretty happy with for the most part. Let's go over that right now. The friendly composition will be a Tychus, myself as a Kharazim, a Chen, a Samuro, a Nova, and a Nova, excuse me. I saw the double Nova got thrown off. Going against a Nova, Li Ming Zul, Rhaegar, and then a Nubarak. So, if we're going by my current list, I would expect us to have the advantage at the support level. I'm not fully sure yet whether or not I'm going to go for, she should come mid then. We should all be starting mid and then rotating. Anyway, I'm not sure if I'm going to go for the Vision upgrade at level 4 just to counter the enemy Nova, but we'll see how it goes and just make the call on the fly. So, where do I start with Kharazim? Honestly, I think where he is right now in the game, he's actually an improved version of what he was before, and it's ironic that I have him so low on the list, considering that where he is now, I feel like he's better than he was when he first came out. The reason why I have him so low, honestly, is just because I think that in terms of things you need, I think there are just other characters who bring a lot to the table and do certain things just a little bit better than he does. Not to mention, he's an actual true hardcore melee support. So, positioning is kind of a thing with him, if you like really think about it. It's not like Rhaegar, who's also a melee support. For sure, Rhaegar is 100% a melee support, but his healing ability can be casted from a distance. So there is a bit of a difference with that when it comes to the heals. One thing I will always say is that Kharazim's kit has always been phenomenal. So that's never been in question. Now, the one thing we did go for with our build, we did go for the insight upgrade. Anybody who's actually been with this channel for a little while now knows that this is something that I've been fond of the entire time that the monk has been a character in this game. And it's just something that has just gotten that much better. Once they changed it, they did the slight rework to the ability to make it a quest talent. It took an upgrade at level 1 that was already solid in my personal opinion, and just made it really, 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 like, that much better to pick. So, and the good thing about this map is that because we're playing on a small map, getting stacks is going to be a non-issue. So we should be able to hit 100 at a pretty good rate. That's what we're trying to do here with this quest talent. We're trying to hit 100 stacks as fast as possible. Once you hit 100 stacks, you get battle momentum on Kharazim, which is pretty insane. It's every bit as insane as you would think it would be. Honestly, I don't think there's any reason to go another way with him if you're going to be playing this character. Like, be it as a solo support or if you have a duo support situation going. I don't think there's any reason to go anything other than Insight, because the late game upside is just too high. Now, we are going to elect to go for the Healing Ward here. Instead, we're going to stick with our conventional build here, because I have not been threatened by the enemy Nova all that much. A lot of that might have to do with my teammates, to be brutally honest, and the fact that we have 2 stealth heroes ourselves. So, The enemy Nova has just as much to worry about as we do, so that's something that we want to take full advantage of. I'm gonna just keep my eye on the map here. Chen does have the top lane locked down. One good thing about having a Chen in your team composition is that he can play just fine by himself in the lane. Chen does just fine in a lot of situations. It's not just a solo lane situation, especially if the user knows what they're doing. And we're gonna be going for a full-blown heal build here, so we're gonna be able to like out heal pretty much anything that they can do to us, especially in the late game. That's something that I like. It's one of my biggest selling points for Kharazim as a whole, as a support. Again, I mentioned it in the last video with Rhaegar that we were past the point of picking heroes or covering support heroes that can't cover themselves or pull their weight as a solo support. That's done. We are now well into the territory where you're playing characters that can solo support with ease. So Kharazim is just another one of those type of heroes in that mix. All right, I'm going to stay up top. We do have guys in every lane, so I do want to make sure that we're soaking all the lanes and not falling behind on XP. I'll just wait my turn. Like, if I get an opportunity in a little while, I'll definitely turn in, but I'm not going to force it if we still need to soak XP and stay competitive. Because again, the idea with Kharazim is you're trying to get your stacks as fast as possible, and you're trying to get to the late game as like convenient as possible. Late game is really where you're going to become the X factor for your team, and you're going to start seeing situations where the enemy team is just straight up struggling to take down your teammates. And again, how the stack count works is every third attack that we land on a target is actually going to tack on a stack that will count towards battle momentum in the late game. Okay, we're going to be going for Echo of Heaven here. This is gonna be the first real buff we add to our W. As long as we're staying competitive on XP, we're going to be just fine. Nothing for anybody to panic about. This is a small map, so it's going to be very, very action-packed after a while. So we have a good composition to deal with that, for sure. Nothing to really worry about here. Looking at the stack count, we're already at 86 stacks when I just looked. And we're just like steamrolling this quest talent right now. We may at this rate actually get to 100 before we get to 10 if we could just keep auto-attacking things, because they're not doing anything to stop me from getting stacks. At all. Like, they're just content to let me do this, which is a big mistake on their part. So I'm actually going to stay here and clear this wave. There it is. All right, so we already have our stacks done in less than 6 minutes. So when I get a chance, I'm definitely going to make my teammates aware that I have my stacks. So at this point, all they need to do is just stay close to me. That's it. All they got to do is stay close, not get too branched out. Granted, I don't know why Samuro would recall. He doesn't have mana. All my teammates need to do is watch their positioning, and then I can do the rest. That's all. Again, that's the beauty of this character. So we're gonna put that down. All I have to do is auto attack. That's it, and then I'll be able to heal Samuro through everything. There you go. I didn't notice that Tychus was in need of health, so we're gonna stay close to him as well. If he would just, there we go. Oh, stacks. So, this is kind of a big win already, that in itself, that we got that quest talent done so fast. Because my healing is like going to be at a pretty alarming rate really early in the game. This is something that the enemy team is going to have to deal with for the lion's share of the game, and it's fantastic. This also means that I have freedom with my talent choices as we go on, because I don't have to make any picks to actually help me get my stacks at all from here on. I'm going to put that back there. I'm just fine with that. Okay, I can't move apparently. That was interesting. I may actually die here, to be honest. I don't know what just happened right there, but I wasn't able to attack a thing. And that really blows. We're going to be going for Divine Palm at 10. I'm not sure what... I'm honestly at a loss right now. I have no idea, A, what happened to me, B, how we got wiped like that. We got all of our big boy talents on deck already, and somehow that translates to us getting wiped when we have a stronger composition. Just honest to God, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to change my route here because Tychus is going to end up in the mid lane. He's probably going to be really low health by the time I get... Oh, no, he's actually pretty good. So he is pushing forward right now in a situation where he probably shouldn't be. It is worth mentioning that we pretty much lost our gems when we got killed just a little while ago. Which is never good. Gems are kind of everything here. This is a great map to have Kharazim on as well. We're going to give him a little bit of his health back. Make sure he's topped off so that he's in a condition where he could actually take advantage of his positioning. Chen chose a really, really suspect spot to actually do that. Take care of that. Muro, I believe, was able... Oh, no, he's not. He's trying to turn in. Okay. So we got a big fight going down up here. All we got to do is attack stuff. That's it. I'm not sure who was caught right there. Or I wasn't sure who was caught right there. All right. Secure 2. So Muro inadvertently ran away from me right there, so I wasn't able to heal him. Again, my healing is really going to take off as we keep getting these upgrades, so it's something I'm really looking forward to. And mana is going to be a non-issue because that's actually what our trait is doing every time we land a third strike. So we never have to recall due to mana, ever. You can just keep doing this and be just fine. And again, we have battle momentum, so we can just keep running off strikes. I'm going to be going for Quicksilver here at 13. What this is going to do is that every time I dash to a teammate, it's going to give them a movement speed increase so that they have an easier time either chasing down targets or, more importantly, running away from situations. Okay, I was about to say, I hope he's not, like, trashing our own player. That's the last thing we need right now. Now I want to make sure everything's okay down here because I've been away from these guys for a while. There you go. Movement speed increase. He can just run away just fine, and we have his health situation at a good spot. And again, I have something to auto attack like this, like, without being contested, so I can just keep doing this and keep healing us through everything. That's the idea with Kharazim. They're going to commit to that, and we're just going to peace out. We did lose Tychus, though, so we got to get on that. Not sure where Nova is at the moment. Going to give Chen that movement speed increase. And we trade the kill on Li Ming. That's fantastic. Again, all we got to do is stay here, auto-attacking stuff, and just keep healing our teammates. That's it. That's the name of the game. We'll just be able to mitigate that damage right away. I believe our teammate did go for the Illusion Master upgrade, so he's going to be just fine. Going to put that down. All right, we do need to be careful here. We did use up our healing ward, so everything's going to come down to our natural healing. We do want to be careful with our positioning here. We're watching Chen as much as possible. We're going to put that palm on him. We're going to get him. We gave him the movement speed, not that he's taking it. We're going to give it to Tychus now, and we're going to back away. This is exactly why we took Quicksilver, so that we have essentially a get-out-of-jail-free card. Tychus really needs to watch his positioning here, because he is not in a position that he wants to stay this close, health-wise. That could easily have backfired so hard on him. All right. So we ended up being okay there. That could have turned into a dicey situation for sure. Every time I give Chen the movement speed, he stops and and drinks his brew. Timing has not been panning out. However, he does have a lot of gems, so we should actually be able to secure a turn in here. Fantastic. And we are about to get 16. 16 is when I get the real spike to my healing. So this is where things are going to get out of control. The thing I got to do a better job of, to be honest, is keeping an eye out for Cocoon, because 2 times it's been used, and neither time did I actually notice it until the guy was already trapped for a little while. So we're going to be going for Circle of Life here. What this is going to do is that it's going to tack on a certain percent to our healing for the amount of teammates we have around us when we actually cast it. So again, this is when our healing gets really, really ridiculous, really, really out of control. And as long as we're standing close to each other, my healing is going to be at a significant level. So again, that ended up being a bad dive by a Nubarak right there. My teammates were on deck to trade it. I wasn't actually around to save Samuro right there, unfortunately. But we still do have a bit of an advantage here because we are the ones with the push. So again, all we need to do is just stay grouped up. That's it. All I need to do is keep auto-attacking. Tyka should come right back. Stay by the team. That's all you got to do is stay close to me, and I will keep you alive through everything. I'm going to get him out of there. There goes the movement speed. Auto-attacking, getting my abilities off cooldown a lot faster because we have battle momentum, so all we got to do is heal these guys through everything. That's about it. We could actually stay here, and I could just auto-attack this and just keep healing Chen off of what I'm doing. Now, that was actually not a smart play by Chen right there. Thank God he didn't pay for it. We're going to give him the movement speed, which also gives me the movement speed, by the way. I want to point that out. All right, moving on. I want to make sure my 2 guys up here are okay. Kharazim is just so much fun. If this was going on like Fun Factor, if I was rating the supports on Fun Factor, Kharazim would be #1 100% of the time. I'm sorry, like my personal opinion, I just don't think there's a single support in the game that brings the fun factor the way that he does. And it has a lot to do with why he's the highest rated support that I have as far as like leveling. Now, obviously not the list because he's #7 on my list. But I have the most time spent on Kharazim as opposed to every other support in the game. And the fun factor has a lot to do with that. Honestly, when Kharazim first came out, I used to play a lot of Malfurion back in the day. And when Kharazim came out, he was so much fun that I used to actually get bummed when I was forced to play Malfurion. The drop-off in fun factor was really, really noticeable. Now, I have not been around Samuro all that much this game, and I kind of want to change that. Because he is like the biggest ace we have in our lineup as far as like power level. I was really close to actually dropping my healing. Yeah, I am going to drop it actually. All we're trying to do is survive here. I got cocooned. My teammates need to be aware of that. Thankfully they were. That could have got ugly really fast. I want to get in the middle of these guys before I use my heal. Because I'm pretty sure that Chen's clones actually buff my my healing just for being around. Again, the more bodies that are around, the higher amount of healing output I have. You see, we're just not struggling at all to keep our guys in a good health situation. And if worse comes to worse, I still have Palm. I'm going to try and keep him alive. Gonna give Chen an easier time chasing this down. Does need to be careful here because he is like actively running away from my healing. I'm gonna put that on him just in case. Chen is proving to be a little bit hard to keep alive just because his mobility is so good. 1 second he'll be standing still, the next second he'll be like lunging into an entire like platoon, if you will. All right, so. I do want to make my way to Samuro here, but again, these targets right next to me are the ones that are low on health. Samuro appears to be just fine, so we're not going to be too concerned about him. I'm going to ping danger here because we're alone and we need to go back and defend. Yeah, I think we should be doing this. So here we go, level 20, I'm going to be going for Storm Shield. This has actually become a popular pick with a lot of my support videos whenever I have a character that has this ability. And you see, taking camps is a real non-issue for Kharazim once you have battle momentum. This is just to show you guys who think that picking Transcendence at level 1 is always the way to go. We are having no trouble whatsoever keeping guys alive this entire time. And it has nothing to do with us picking Transcendence because we don't even have it. And the healing output is way higher. Like, you cannot compare the healing you get from like your auto attacks to the healing you get through using mana. It is not even close. You can't buff the healing. You can't buff the healing output on Transcendence. That's just really all I have to say about it. You can buff the healing output you have on Breath of Heaven. So we're going to cancel out that slow right there by giving Tychus a speed boost. And we're just going to let my teammates decide who we're going to be attacking here. I'm going to give that speed boost right back to Chen. Do take down Chen. I mean, not Chen, Rhaegar. Gonna make sure we keep him alive. I'm putting that healing ward right down there. Nova did a fantastic job of paying attention to what was going on. And the healing we have right now is just absurd. You might be seeing this and wondering why the hell Kharazim is so low on my list, but there are reasons for it. And again, I have a lot of experience with this character, so a lot of what I'm doing is just pure experience. I kind of know what spots he's good in and what spots he's not. 'Cause I've seen this exact build and like playstyle go bad. Not necessarily because it's bad, but like you're never guaranteed. Your teammates are never a guarantee. And we do have a good set of players with us right now that are taking advantage of what I'm doing, which is all you can ask for when you play a support. And we're just completely steamrolling these guys right now. Like they cannot do anything. Like I said at the start of the video, there's no way like we weren't going to be able to out-heal everything they could possibly do. I'm going to put another healing ward down just for the hell of it, and that's going to be game. So, we put up 117,000 healing throughout the entirety of that game. It might be possible that we grab MVP here. Nope. Gave it to Tychus. Unreal. Well, he led in 2 separate things while having the minimal death count, so I guess we got to give it to him. Look at that. Main healer. 46% of the team's damage healed. Not a single vote. The enemy team pretty upset about what was going on and voting for their own guy. That's a lot of damage mitigation. I just want to point that out. I started off the video saying that we were going to be able to out-heal everything the enemy team could do, and that's exactly what we came close to doing. Almost half their damage completely nerfed by what we were doing out there. That's not easy. So, the build is what it is. I've been promoting this build for the longest time. To be brutally honest, I've been running this build even before the changes to Insight went down. This is pretty much what I've always done, and it's always been this effective. To be brutally honest, like I've been the guy that's been pushing Insight for the better part of a year now, and honestly, nobody's ever been on board with it. Even now, if you see people running Monk, you still see players picking Transcendence at level 1, going for the early game buff, and completely forgetting that they're going to need a late game buff as well. You see, the other advantage to having Insight is that we always have mana on deck, not just for healing, but for all of our abilities in general. So that means that there's never going to be a situation where we go Divine Palm and a teammate needs to be saved, and we don't have the mana to actually save them. So that's never going to happen because we're always going to have mana on deck. And again, you just see the difference in healing here. We put up 117,000. The enemy team's Rhaegar, we completely smashed him on that front. He only had 43,000. So it is what it is. Take that for whatever you want to take that for. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Kharazim, I think he's an outstanding support. I really do. And I may be a little biased in saying that. Honestly, I am biased towards the 2 Diablo supports more than anything, but I think I can say that openly that I'm biased, and it will be okay because I still, even with me favoring these two heroes in specific, I still have one of them rated very low on my list in my top 10. It's not a complete bias where I put Kharazim in my top 5. Sometimes when he's played well, he does honestly feel like the type of support that could be viewed as a top 5 support. But honestly, there's more situations than not where there are better choices for your team. You notice everything about my build was centered around healing. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of extra support options to go with this build, and that's kind of what you get with Kharazim. So, yes, his healing output is going to be just as good as every other support, if not better than every other support. He has times where he does an absurd amount of healing, like you just saw. Like, that was a 20-minute game, I believe, right? A 20-minute game, we nerfed 46% of the enemy team's damage, and cracked 100,000 in 20 minutes. That is not easy. So, like I said, sometimes he has times where he looks like he's the best, but then there are other times where you notice that there are better options out there because there's a wider array of things that other support characters cover. They can help out on multiple fronts, where Kharazim helps out like at a very, very high level on one front. So Kharazim, to sum it up, he's like a master of healing, but he's not a master of every aspect of being a support, and that's the only reason why I have him this low at level 7, and that's really all I have to say about it. Again, this is just personal opinion, so don't take anything that I'm saying personal if you're a support main, because there are some hardcore support players out there that know what they're talking about, that know what they're doing, and this is not to tilt them in any way. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. As always, I appreciate the support. Number 7 is done. 4, I want to say... yeah, 4 heroes down. So far, we're 3-1. We only lost the Rhaegar game so far, so that's actually pretty good. The more games we can win in this series, the happier I'll be. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I appreciate the support as always. This is Achilles LBT. That's Achilles with the Z. Remember it.